predator, you could say that they got what they prayed for. Okay, bad joke. But anyway, the reason why they had to build the overpasses is that the underpasses, even though they're cheaper, a lot easier to build, it was causing the prey a lot of stress because they didn't know if it was going to be their last crossing or not. So the reason why the wolves, or the animals that don't use the overpasses, is that they're still waiting at the underpasses for their lunch. So essentially that's why they had the overpasses built. Again, way more expensive, but it allowed the prey to have a lot easier time. So typically the elk, the deer, the moose are what use the overpasses, and the predators like the wolves, the bears, cougars, they'll use the underpasses. So on the right-hand side, you'll start to see some of these trees. And you see that the branches are mostly at the top of the trees. 3/4 of the trees are bare. Well, that was helpful for the First Nation people who like to use these for a teepee, the framework for a teepee. And that's because their work was literally cut out. They're tall, they're slender, they're flexible, and
crack, smack. And he asked the guy, he's like, what was that? And then the guy said, oh, that was probably an avalanche up in the lake of the little fish. And he said, oh, can we go over there? No, I don't want to go there. Oh, can we go over there? No, I don't want to go there. And he was like, please take me. So he sucks it up. He's like, alright, fine, I'll take you up there. There's not much to see. So he takes him up to the lake of the little fish, in reference to the fact that the water here is so cold that fish like to barely grow that big. So he takes him up there and he says, my goodness, this is the most beautiful lake I've ever seen. The water here is crystal clear and it is a lovely emerald color. I'm going to call this place Emerald Lake. There, and then he went, oh, I found this lake. It's such a beautiful lake I've ever seen. I'm going to call it Emerald Lake. And then he was like, alright, that's fine, but the Canadian government didn't enjoy that because we can't have two Emerald Lakes, too much with that. So the Governor General at the time changed it to Lake Louise. So he was trying to get it good with the royal family and the British government. So he thought he would name it after Queen Victoria's fourth daughter, Princess Louise Caroline Alberta. She's both the namesake of the state, of the province, and of the lake itself. And Queen Victoria heard about this and she thought it was so lovely. And then she said, alright, that's fair enough, you can do that. On the condition, of course, that the mountain and the glacier that feeds the lake is named after me. So, Mount Victoria and Victoria Glacier feeds Lake Louise. And you think about it two ways, depending on how you feel about your mother. You can obviously think, well, look how lovely, the mother will always feed the daughter for as long as humans are here. Or, you can think about the fact that my mom's never going to get up my back, she's going to be forever. Depending on Louise thought. Louise, however, never made her way over here. She didn't like it, because apparently she said it was too cold to come up here, and she didn't like any bugs. We didn't expect that from the British aristocracy. So she never came, and they never came either, but plenty of royal family members have. This place has seen every kind of celebrity. It's seen queens, it's seen every queen since Elizabeth, other Elizabeth. It's seen Charles, it's seen Kate, even Harry, Meghan have come here themselves. So it's quite the place to come. The chateau itself is the main attraction here for anyone who comes. But there's quite a lot to do. There's quite a lot of hikes, little beehive, big beehive. There is the tea house just up elevated on Lake Agnes. And it really is something to see. Depending on the time of the day and depending on the weather, the color of the lake itself does change. probably between a pretty timid turquoise to quite a very vibrant blue. Looking at the weather today, I think it's going to be quite a lovely blue, but I'll take your word for it, and I'll hear what you say when we get back to the bus in a little bit. Alright.
Alright, did everyone see those nice paradise bungalows on the right? Well, that has to do with a little bit of a Swiss twist, as they say. And the Swiss came out here because if we back up a little further, unfortunately, the first recorded mountaineering fatality happened on Mount Lefroy out here, which is just to the left of Lake Louise. He was climbing up one day and then rappelling down, untied himself from the rope, and unfortunately slipped and fell 300 meters into the end well for him. So they brought, there's also a tram line on the left there, I'll point that out. I'm sure about that in a second. But anyway, so they brought the Swiss guides out, and after that they realized, hey, this was actually a very effective way. As they know how to navigate the Swiss Alps, they taught people how to navigate this area, and it was quite a bit more successful after they came. So they do have a bit of a Swiss twist. Like I said, the Paradise Bungalows, this is the Deer Lodge, and you'll see another cabin on the way to the lake after the washrooms. That is where the Swiss guides used to stay. But anyways, that tram line was something that they used to bring supplies up the mountain here, that 200-meter elevation gain, and they use it for hiking and biking today and skiing in the winter. But anyways, who's excited to see Lake Louise? Woohoo! Okay, like I said, we don't normally take people up here, especially if we don't have, well, if we don't have to pick people up, we don't normally go in. But I thought I'd pull something special for you today. So, off to the right there, the building with the green roof, that is the flush toilets, and hopefully they are not closed for cleaning, like they were yesterday. But yeah, that should be okay. They're quiet right now, so that's kind of nice. But Harry, do you want to explain a little bit more about the stop, where to go, what to do, and a time frame? We got 20 minutes here. So.
Alright, just so everyone is aware, to get to the lake itself, you have to walk along this pedestrian little walkway they've created for us, and then you'll reach a little bit of a forested, wooded area, tiny little trail, then you'll eventually walk right into it. Now, please try to walk on the track itself here. I won't yell at you, but the people at Parks Canada love to yell at people any chance they get. So when it comes to crowd control, get ready for them to be pretty annoying about it. I do recommend going to the bathroom here. You don't want to, we do have it on the bus, but you don't really want to do it there. And the next bus